Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks, starting with the S&P and then the NASDAQ. And with the S&P on the weekly chart here, we're on track, and we can see that we're pushing up, and the lagging indicators are making their turns and doing their things. So we need to count 5 waves from wave 4 to wave 5 here. Don't worry about the target or the times that I've got set here. This is just a bit of a rough mud map. We're better off always in following the actual counting the waves, the structure. So on the daily chart, it will look a little bit like this here. So in one way, we're looking for 5 waves from wave 4 to wave 5 here, and as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I said, don't pay any attention to the these target areas here. It's just a rough mud map, and we'll keep tuning that in as we go. Our current situation is counting 5 waves from this low to the top of wave 1 here, and that will be the same for stock as well. So looking at that on the intraday basis here, up for wave 1 here from this low here, we're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. Now we can make a few assumptions along the way with Elliott. We can say that because the extension is in wave 3 here, that would leave the distance of wave 1 and wave 5 roughly the same. So take that with a pinch of salt, but that should have the right look and feel about it. Currently we've got wave 2 here and wave 3 here, and we're also looking for 5 waves in this section as well. So we've got 1 and 2, and we're going up for the 3, 4 and 5, and then between 2 and 3 here we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So most of the stocks are the same as this as well. Okay, so we'll go to the intraday on this and pick it up from in this space here, but this is a good picture to understand of where the markets are generally. Now there's different stocks that are not in sync with this, but some are leading, some are catching up, like Google is still lifting off the lows, Tesla's got a different count, and so on. So with this one here, this is in the intraday area here. Let me just bring some. So we've got wave 4 here with 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2, and going up for wave 3 over here. Don't have that here yet, but that will be on top of this one here, so we'll just put that in there for a reference point. And from 2 to 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves. So we've got blue 1 and blue 2, blue 3, blue 4. Don't need that there. And between blue 2 and blue 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves. So we can see that we've got the extension in wave 1 here, and wave 3 has got good form, but it's probably a little bit smaller than this. So we can expect this wave 5 here to be smaller than wave 3 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here and have that top put in place here. Do you know what I mean? I could go like this. So just shooting the breeze here. So yeah, so we could do something like that and have a top in play, or we could look at this in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up for 1 and 2, which is probably a little bit more balanced on this. So we're looking for something like this here. So 3 correction, 3, 4, 5. How far will it go up there? It'd be nice if it hits the lower end of group 2. But 56 is also a nice target area. And we can see here too that you probably don't notice this at first glance, but this top here has been taken out on the S&P, but it hasn't on the NASDAQ. Okay, so because on the NASDAQ you could view it as an A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave coming down, but it does look a little bit corrective in here as a typical wave 4. So having a wave 1 up here and some sort of wave 2 coming into play here, it may be deep, it may be shallow, just be a little bit mindful of that, and that's where we are there. So the NASDAQ will be the same as well. So wave 4 here, looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 waves in this first move here on this daily chart. And of course the 20,000 here is a bit of a glass ceiling, so from 20,000 one day to 20,000 ticks here, so it'll give you a good idea of what we're looking at here, 1 and 2, and going up to wave 3 here. So between 2 and 3 here we're looking for 5 waves, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and in between 2 and 3 here we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it does look like we could probably even put this over here, but I'll just want to tune this in with the rest of the markets, and it does count, it can count as 5 waves within this particular space. And just looking at this here on the 1000 tick chart, so picking it up from this wave 4, as you can see here, it hasn't taken out the top here, but on the S&P it has. And you could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but maybe a bit of an overlap there. So it's possible at first glance to see this actually come down here for this. That's possible, but I don't think it's the case. I think it'll be something like it'll be something like that based on what we see with the S&P at this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up for 3, 4, 5. So basically hold long on the NASDAQ and in most stocks as well. So we come to Apple, and the same thing as well. So from wave 4 here going up to wave 1 and 2. And within that we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and going up for wave 3 here, and 4 and 5. And between 2 and 3 here we're also looking for 5 waves as well. So I've made a bit of an adjustment here of 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, just really to bring it in line with the NASDAQ and the S&P. And then a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here. So this wave 4 could pull back to this wave 4. Like I said on Friday or something, that we are changing gears within the trend, because we were in 1s and 2s, and now we're in 4s and 5s, 4 and 5, 4 and 5, 4 and 5. So it's a different environment. We're going to see more sideways, complicated corrections. You don't want to get too close to the market. You just really need to know what your what your strategy is. Are you going to hold through this wave 4? Are you going to hold through this wave 4? Do you have leverage? If you do have leverage, then holding through this wave 4 might not be a good idea. You could probably do it with this one, but not this one. So those sorts of things, you need to answer that for yourself. But yeah, just pointing out that we're in a different environment where that strong little move in here that's the center of the whole trend at that point. So all of this here is halfway, and then we've got the other halfway to go up here, and it will look a little bit differently. What you see is not what you get. Next, Amazon. So here it's pretty clear as 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the third, the fourth, the fifth of the third, the fourth, and the fifth up here. So still has further to climb. Everything's looking pretty good at this stage, so nothing to do at this point. We know number 8 here is the third strongest number, so we're going to see these 4s and 5s play out across here. But yeah, just hold through that. And then we come over to Nvidia. So we've got this ABC for wave 4, same sort of story here on the daily chart as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. Like I said, don't pay too much attention to these targets and things, but this is where we'll be, somewhere in amongst all of this. We may be much higher up. We'll just see how we go with all of this. I'll just cut through to the 5K here, and So from this wave 4 here, it's the same, pretty much the same story, but I've just readjusted this here as 1 and 2 and 1, 2, and in this case I've got wave 3 here. Like in the other markets, we're looking for wave 3 to move up here, but I can count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So anyway, it doesn't really bother us just yet. I'll just see how the market unfolds and make further adjustments, but the trend is to the upside and we're not finished, but we're heading up into this wave 1 here for this. So just hold long in that. I'll just have a on the 1,000 tick area here, just a little bit more detail here. So here we can clearly see 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bit of a spiky thing there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could probably shift this over here, but I'll just leave it here for the time being. It's just a bit small at this stage, probably over here actually, but we'll see. Doesn't matter at this stage. The 130 is the top of minor group 1, and that's going to play out. That we're going to be stuck there. So if you're looking for a target, that you're a swing trader, then that 130 is where you need to take money off the table. Now, Meta Platforms is was sort of one of the leading ones, but it's really slowed down now, and it's like watching the paint dry. So it's probably forming some sort of top. So with these little trades in here, we're going to take the money off the table at 550, maybe even a bit shorter at 48 or something, 548 or 545 or something. I'll keep an eye on that, but yeah, because it's not extending out, it's just these structures, they're all tightening up. So it's probably, this will be, because it's one of the leading stocks and it's not going anywhere at this moment, we're probably going to get this 1 and 2 in here before any of the others. So I'm not quite sure how we'll tighten this up just yet, but yeah, we'll just keep a bit of an eye on this. Probably even put this here. I don't want to go too far ahead of the other markets. I'll just keep an eye on it, but it's not going anywhere fast. And Netflix, so a little bit hard to follow, but 3 and 4 here, and from 4 we're going up for 1 and 2, and then up further. In the meantime, we're counting 5 waves to this wave 1 here, so we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and probably 3, 4. So it's sort of looking a bit like this at the moment. We'll go higher, but we'll take profit not at the 700 here, but a little bit lower in here for this. So maybe the 6. I'll just keep a bit of an eye out. We'll have a look at the intraday as we go, but just letting you know that we're in this structure to the upside here. In some of the cases, we don't want to get stuck in wave 4s here. In some cases, we can, the ones that have really extended out, and maybe we could do that in this one. But a lot of them will start shaving money off the table into this wave 3 area here for this. Okay, so Google, we've been looking at with a low in place and as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So we could also look at this as 1 and 2. I could build this in another way here. I'll just see how we build here. I can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. So we could look to go long over here. I'm a little bit reluctant to go long in this market because there is a good case here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And looking at this as an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave here, when a lot of the other markets have their wave 1 and pull back for wave 2, for example, then this one could drop lower here. So that's on my mind with this one. So I'm not quite sure. Probably do the opposite and take off. But we'll just wait for that. But it's doing all the right things at the right time, and with the trading levels, 165 is the lower end of group 2, and it's basically it's retesting it, trying to find support in there. So if you're going to go long, you definitely want that 165 as the support. because it's going to fail. This is where it's going to fail. I mean, it could still go above 165, but fail to find support on that level. And support really is just, in very simple terms, just finding a high above a particular price point and then going long above that price point, because then it's come back and tested it, and you know that the bulls are in charge of the trend. Okay, so Microsoft here, much the same as the other ones, with wave 4 here and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up for the third, the fourth, the fifth over here. So we can look for this wave 3 and 4 over here for this, and then going up for wave 5 to make wave 1. So it's moving a bit like meta platforms, moving very slowly. You could probably put the stop in here at the moment. Put a stop loss in just under the 10 here. Don't put it on 10. Don't put stops on whole numbers. You're just asking for trouble. But just keep monitoring this. It's this is all medium level here, 400, then 1, 2, and 3, which is group 1, and it's just trying to get through all these levels. So this particular one here has got a bit of history over here. It's got the arrival and the reaction here. It still needs to find it as support. It hasn't got it as support just yet, but it's getting there. And then we come over to Tesla, and once again we've been looking at this as a low down here with 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third. It's a little bit in front of the other markets. We might need to bring this over here a little bit further. I'll just see how that goes, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We're sort of on track with this, and yeah, that could probably go on in here as well. So but like I said, we're going into wave 4s now, whichever way you want to look at it. I could probably push that across actually. Feels a bit better. Anyway, I'll muck around with it a bit more, but it's still got further to go up, that's all. Now that the 10 has been tested, we could push this up into here somewhere. I'll just keep it at 202, but it's a step forward. And then we come over to Bitcoin. And I was thinking I might do a video on some of the ETFs and some of the stocks like MicroStrategy, and sort of tie them into Bitcoin a little bit. And because those ETFs have certainly sort of had a bit of an impact on Bitcoin. So from this, you know, I've had it as this wave 4, but I'd like to tie it into the NASDAQ with this wave 4 here, so I still need to consider that. But in a nutshell, looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. And we've got this ABC here, so we're aware of that, because normally from wave 1 to 2 here it would be a 5, 3, 5 structure, but here we've got 3, 3 and 3 here. So it kind of also, you know, I can do that as wave 2 and get away with that, but I also understand it opens a door for this to be a well, it is a corrective pattern. We could also view this as a corrective pattern and a corrective pattern and a corrective pattern, and then come down again at that point. This is why I want to have a look at MicroStrategy and BlackRock and a few of those guys and see what their count is. So perhaps I'll make a video on that during the week. Yeah, otherwise we should be sort of heading higher with this. This does appear to be corrective here in 3 waves, and we have nipped this top out here, so that confirms that it is corrective. So if this is corrective, we should be taking this top out here, and also too, this is also corrective as well, so the whole thing is corrective, so we should be taking out this top. So we should in one way or another push higher there. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.